Good morning. Welcome back to another vlog. It is Tuesday, December 17th. Here's my plan for today. Already got today all planned out. Again, that will be a part of a plan with me coming in January. But I'm going to go ahead and show you my planner and talk you through what we're up to today. So I've got my AM routine. I actually don't have to prep today's video because my editor is amazing and got it done early. So I did that yesterday. So I'm ready to go. But I am going to try to film the top-down portion of the goals before I leave the house this morning. So that will be the first goal. Then I have 2 contractor meetings to start getting some estimates. Maybe while we're at the new house, in between here, I'll talk a little bit about some of the plans and what we're thinking. For safety purposes, I will not be doing a full house tour. Nobody has actually asked me that. Y'all are the best. But I anticipate that question at some point. So I'm going to get ahead of that. But I will talk a little bit about what our plans are, etc. Then I'm going to come home. And I got a lot of work to do. The most important thing is getting things filmed. Getting the goals videos filmed. Actually, you know what we're going to do? Oh, sorry. Just almost dropped the camera there. We're going to add some little dots. So we're going to add, there's 4 goals videos that I need to get filmed. And then I also want to film talking about books for the vlog while the camera's all set up and everything. So my plan or my goal is today I'm going to talk about 2024 books. All the books I read in 24, how my goals went, etc. And then tomorrow I'm going to talk about 2025 books. That's the goal plan. We'll see how it goes. Then I also need to finish the last batch of reels for December. And then these are all the computer type tasks that I would like to get to today. Obviously 2 of those I carried over from yesterday because I could, if I have time, if this meeting only lasts 30 minutes and my next one's not until 10:30, I have an hour, I'll just turn my hotspot on at the house and get this going. So I might be able to get some of those things done, but I put them in this order so that I could prioritize filming when I get home. If I don't do any of this before I get home, filming, I have to walk in and film. That is the most important thing. And since I'm trying to film essentially 5 things, it might take me a while. But the good news is that Lila's at daycare. And so I've got plenty of time to get all the things done. And then I wrote wrap presents down here tonight. We'll see if that ends up happening. I may, depending, just so that I can stay on top of things. I'll go pick Lila up from daycare. I'll make sure dinner is ready, which we need to talk about dinner because I am an idiot. Anyway, I'll get dinner ready. And then when Sam is done with work, I may come, depending on how much work I have left, I may pop back in here and try to finish this up because I don't want to get super behind this week and just feel overwhelmed. So I may take advantage of that. So anyway, I don't know why the focus is being weird. There's our plan. Well, kind of. I just tracked the last 2 tracking numbers that I'm waiting on. Both are set to deliver today. So I really could get all my gifts wrapped. And then all I need to do is pop the ones that have to get mailed in the mail. However, one of my things that I ordered, I talked about Snapfish yesterday in the book for Lila. So I got a couple other things. And I got a shipping notification from Snapfish. But one of my gifts, actually my second gift for my mom, I got my mom a couple things because she's the best, is not listed in the package. So I'm hoping that is just an incorrect typo and that package is going to arrive today and it's going to have all the other gifts and the gift from my mom. But the good news is, sorry you have to stare at my planner while I tell you this because I did not wash my makeup off last night, so you're not looking at my face yet. The good news is that I got my mom multiple gifts. So we have our family Christmas on Saturday. Obviously I would love for it to be here by then. That's when I would love to give that gift to my mom. But we are also still celebrating actual Christmas. It's just not with all my siblings. It's just my mom and stepdad and Sam and Lila and I. It's also the first night of Hanukkah. So we're really celebrating Hanukkah and Christmas. And we are planning to give Lila a couple different gifts because this Saturday I anticipate her opening gifts from my siblings. At least I know my sister got her something. And then on actual Christmas, I'm going to give her the stuff that we got her. So I could give my mom that gift then, as long as it gets here by then, which if it doesn't, that would just be bonkers. But anyway. Sorry, that was very, very rambly for you staring at one section of my planner. I promise, again, I will show you more than my planner today, but I just thought of something else that I need to do. And I really want to write it in right here. Or maybe I'm going to try to do it here. If we can get out the door. I could maybe do it right there. I need to go grab gifts for Lila's teachers because Lila only goes to daycare on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and next Tuesday and Wednesday happen to be holidays. Tomorrow is her last day before the holiday break. So I'm just going to do Target gift cards this year. Keep it simple for myself, for them. She's two teachers in there, and I am going to swing by Target and get them Tarte gift cards, and then I have a slew of thank you notes in my collection. So I'm just gonna stick those into a nice thank you note with a nice note thanking them for loving on my sweet girl. And this is like in this path between daycare and the house. So if I can make that happen, that would be fantastic. All right, I'm done here. Except I haven't packed up our bags yet, but my priority is getting this done before she wakes up. So let's get to it. Okay, we're in the kitchen. Lila's having breakfast. And here's the dinner situation. So I wanted to keep things super simple this week. So I planned one meal and one crock pot meal. And just like I talked about last week, my plan was to do the crock pot meal tomorrow because that's the day of my call. And I like not having to worry about getting dinner done and cooked while I have my coaching call. But the other dinner I planned, so that would fall into tonight's plan, was tacos, which is what we had for dinner last night. So for a second I contemplated switching them, but with all the house stuff, like I either would have to rush right now, and I thought about it. I very much thought for a second, like maybe while Lila's having breakfast, I will like quickly get this meal in the crock pot and that can be tonight's dinner. But now that we're like standing in here, I don't want to. So I think we're just gonna have tacos again, and it is what it is, and we'll have the crock pot meal tomorrow. All right, let's quickly get this. We finished Charlie's, but I haven't taken it out of the room yet. We just have so much other recycling that I'm not gonna pile onto the recycling. We're gonna leave it here for now. So let's open this up. Why is this already like halfway open? Okay. Ooh, chocolate chai black tea. Okay, I will say this eggnog one from yesterday was not as strong flavored as I wanted it to be. It was kind of bland, and I even let it steep for a long time. I like took it with me with the tea bag in it, but I'm excited about this. I'm gonna brew this now to take it with me to enjoy while I'm meeting with the contractors. And then let's get this one open, and then I'm just gonna add it to its little friend collection over here. Speaking of eggnog, festive eggnog. Oh, it basically smells like French vanilla. I'm not gonna lie, but it's festive, I guess. Okay, I am home. Sorry about the tease about vlogging at the house and talking about like some of the updates. I did end up spending, well, first off, my mom ended up coming with me, which was so nice. I did not think she was gonna come. I knew she would come for the 10:30 because it's her guy, but I thought just our realtor was gonna be there for the 9, she's also the best. The fact that she met us there, like, and she's done, right? We bought the house yesterday. Her job is over. But anyway, so my mom ended up coming for both, and so we just like stayed and hung out and talked about the house and stuff. So I didn't pull out the camera. But tomorrow I'm gonna be there by myself. So I promise I will vlog about it. But both people we met with, it was really good. We talked about a lot of stuff. There's a lot of projects, but it's gonna be really good, and I'm really excited. I feel like mentally I'm a little bit like flustered. I also am starving, so I'm making some leftovers from last night. So yeah, I'm gonna eat tacos for lunch and for dinner because I'm gonna have these leftover tacos right now for lunch, and I'm gonna have tacos for dinner. Let me see if it needs a little more time. Yeah, that was not enough time. Okay, so step 1 is eat and like chill for a second, and I think that will make me feel a little bit better, and then get those videos filmed. That's the number one thing. I'm gonna get those done and checked off and uploading for my editor, and then we will chat about books. Okay, I filmed a lot of things, but not on the vlog. I got through all my goals videos and all the reels for the rest of December, so that is awesome. I think I'm gonna make another cup of tea before I power through the rest of this work. I have a couple more hours before Miss Lila comes home, and I think I'm gonna try this Trader Joe's that I showed it was more than a couple vlogs ago. I know I have a whole bowl from the advent calendar, but the one I had today was also not very flavorful, and I was kind of just like underwhelmed. So like this, I can smell through the box. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Yeah, I'm so pumped. Okay, I pulled this down. I need to update this because this is obviously 2 weeks old because this was yesterday. So there's a lot to update here. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and take Christmas off because by the time I update this, like it'll be a handful of days. So I just need to figure out what my next thing is. I'm gonna add moving, which is gonna slot in here somewhere. Could change, but I'm gonna slot that in. And then I don't know what's after that. I need to think about it. My birthday, but our anniversary. We're gonna be in Argentina for our anniversary though, so. Anyway, okay, that's not what we're here to talk about. I got my tea. It is still way too hot to take a sip, but hopefully, oh my gosh, It just like fogged up my glasses. Did you see that? Hopefully after I talk for a bit, it will be cool enough and I can try it with you. But let me pull up my notes here. Let's talk about books. So I did this last year during Vlogmas. Let me rewind. I love reading. I've always loved reading. I've always been a reader. I was definitely the kid who would ask my mom if we could go at midnight to go get the Harry Potter books, and then I would stay up all night reading it. Like, I've always been a reader. And I feel like a lot of us fall off reading in like high school, reading for pleasure in like high school and college, because you're reading so much for school that it just feels like so much more to then also read for pleasure. So kind of like fall off the boat. And then I did finally start to get back into reading and really kind of figured it out when I started focusing on goals. Sorry, I feel like the camera's a little bit crooked. Hang on. Okay. And I also want to pull my feet up because this is like us chilling, chatting. I should have done this like by the Christmas tree. There's that little Christmas tree there. Anyways, I finally started like figuring out reading again, and I also started reading nonfiction. And I think the most I read, there was one year I think I did 51 books. I feel like it's still good. And that was obviously pre-kids, and that was kids. There's only one kid. I feel like every time there was one comment I made in one video where somebody thought I was announcing that I was pregnant. Trust me, y'all. If I'm pregnant, like, you'll know in like a bigger way than that. But I feel like every time I make a small comment, I'm like, I'm not pregnant. It's not, no. Anyway, now it's harder. It's harder to read. By the time I get in bed, I'm exhausted. Finding time to read during the day is hard, and it's harder. But this year, knock on wood, I'll explain in a second, I will read 30 books. I'm at 28 as of today. I'm in the middle of 2. I'm at like 50-something% of 2. And I anticipate getting both of those done by the end of the year. And so that feels really good, given last year, I don't even remember how many I read last year. It was not 30. And I think one of the things that helped was that this was the first year in a long time that I picked specific books. So instead of just saying, I'm gonna read this number of books, I got really clear about what books I wanted to read and what books were important to me. So I did that video in Vlogmas of last year. And in that video, I shared 15. I was on a mission to read these 15 specific books. And very shortly into the new year, I added 5 more in a totally different category. And we're gonna go through all of them. I'm not gonna go dig deep into all the books I read this year, but I'm gonna like tell you all about the different categories. So pretty early in January, I had 20 specific books that I wanted to read this year. But I knew that some of them lended themselves to like the next one and the next one. And so as long as I like kept down that road, I would potentially hit more. But I put 20 in my like Goodreads goal. 20 was my goal. And so it feels really good to have hit 30, like really good. So let's talk about the specific book. So this last year, I split it up into 4 categories. So I had business, nonfiction. So business is also nonfiction, but like business books, other types of nonfiction, personal development books, fiction, and then biographies. And that was the category that I had added. So in terms of business, I had 5 books that I had picked, and I didn't do one of them. And maybe I should explain that first. But I added another one. So I read 5 total business books. So one of the things I realized this year is that right now in the season that I'm in, I have a hard time sitting down and reading a nonfiction book. I can't focus. Even if I find the time, I would rather be doing something else. And so for now, in this season, nonfiction fits best in my life in audiobook format. And so one of the books on my list, I thought didn't have an audiobook format. Turns out I was wrong. There is an audiobook. You just have to kind of go a roundabout way to get it. The author happens to be my business coach, so I talked to her about it. So I went ahead and moved that one to next year. But that is what I learned, that a nonfiction book needs to be in audio format in order for me to be able to listen to it right now. So the 5 business books I read in 2024 were Fix This Next, Chill and Prosper, Essentialism, The Gap and the Gain, and The Pumpkin Plan. I loved all of them. And I will have these all linked down below for y'all. So like if I said that really fast, like you can go back and grab them. Like I will list them out with links in the description. But I loved all of them. I think they were all good business books for varying reasons. I would say probably my number 1 was Essentialism. That book to me, I got way more out of it than just business related stuff. Like I got personal stuff out of it. I want to own that physical book so that I can reference it in addition to the audiobook. Did I get that one from the library or did I buy it? Because my mom has like all these Audible credits that she accidentally signed up for one time and like was getting credits and then never uses them. And so she's always like, you can go use my Audible credits. So I can't remember which ones I got on my mom's Audible account and which ones because my mom doesn't listen to audiobooks. Well, she did. There was like a couple of road trips that they went on, and my stepdad would work and she would drive. And so she listened to audiobooks while she would drive. So I think she signed up for the account then, and she listened to like Michelle Obama and Barack Obama's books, and then like that's it. And so now it's basically my Audible account. Anyway, there's a handful of credits left in there that I will be using in 2025. But if I can get it from the library, I will put it on hold at the library. But Essentialism, I think, was hands down my favorite business book, but I also really love Fix This Next. It's the same author as Profit First, which is a book I've raved about in the past. And I think he has a really good perspective on books or on business, and I just really enjoyed that book. So those were my business reads in 2024. From a nonfiction, like personal development standpoint, I read The Lazy Genius Kitchen, The Fifth Trimester, Manage Your Home Without Losing Your Mind, Uncomfortable Conversations with a Jew, The Small and the Mighty, and The Plan. And then pending, if I finish it, I'm rereading Decluttering at the Speed of Life, which I always recommend that book. If you have a decluttering goal or you're packing to move, highly recommend Decluttering at the Speed of Life. In terms of these books, The Small and the Mighty by Sharon McMahon. Not a book I thought I would enjoy. It's a historical nonfiction. Like, she's telling stories of history. I'm not a history person at all. I really did not think I would like that book, but I really enjoyed it. And also listening to her tell the stories, I really liked that as well. Uncomfortable Conversations with a Jew was awesome, but so was Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. I love Emmanuel Acho. I think he's a fantastic author, fantastic perspectives, and his co-author on this book, Noah, was just fantastic. These are all so different that I feel like it's really hard for me to make a recommendation. I think Uncomfortable Conversations with a Jew is the only one I put at a 5-star, which to me, in my mind, when I give something 5 stars, I think everybody needs to read it. That's my take on that. I think 4 stars is, I think it's a really good book, but I could see how it's not for everybody. And I think the rest of them kind of fall into that category. I think I gave the rest of them 4 stars. I think they're all great books. I had 2 books on this list that I did not get to, mostly because I'm still on the waiting list at the library to get the audiobook. Now, I could just buy them on Audible or use my mom's credits, just to be being totally honest with you here, totally transparent. But they have them at the library, and I've been on hold for a long time. And so I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait it out. So I'm moving those to 2025 because I'm going to wait it out. And I will talk all about my 2025 list tomorrow. The other nonfiction category is biographies. And I like biographies from just I like listening to them, especially if they're read by the author. And there was only one of these that was not read by the author. So I last year listened to Speak. The book it's Tunde from Peloton. I loved her book. That was probably the best one of all of these. I don't know. These are all good. I also listened to Beyond the Wand, which is Tom Felton, Draco Malfoy. Green Lights, which is Matthew McConaughey. This was technically a reread for me. I'd read the physical book. We have it. But I listened to it last year. Or this year. Whatever. The Woman in Me, which was the only one not written or narrated by the author. It's Britney Spears. If you are a 90s kid, highly recommend. Unprotected, Billy Porter. Also loved that one. Oh my gosh, his life. I've always loved Billy Porter, but this just blew me away. And then Becoming by Michelle Obama, which was also technically a reread because I have read the physical book before, but I listened to it. And I listened to it because I was then going to move into her second book, and I never actually did. So I do still I still want to listen to biographies in the future, but for now, because I do audio in other nonfiction, I'm not going to prioritize biographies. I have one on hold at the library, which is Kelly Bishop from Gilmore Girls. And when that one comes up, I will listen to it next year. I don't actually have it on my list because it's not, that one is only, I'm going to listen to it because I put it on hold at the library. And then the last category is fiction. And so I had 5 fiction books that I knew I wanted to start with. And I knew there was definitely a possibility that I pivoted and I read other fiction books, which is absolutely what happened, or I continued on, I finished these. But my goal was at least at a bare minimum to finish these. And when I made that list in December of last year with a 3.5-month-old, I didn't know if I was going to get through all these fiction books. I didn't know how I was going to necessarily incorporate reading a lot of fiction. I was barely getting enough sleep to function. So it feels really good that I went above and beyond. So the first goal was to finish Harry Potter 6 and 7. I was listening to the Harry Potter audiobooks while I was feeding Lila. I actually started, this is kind of sweet. I started Harry Potter 1, the audiobook, in labor. And then I carried on listening to the Harry Potter audios while I was feeding her, and then, you know, carried through the new year and finished Harry Potter 7. Then I read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame with everybody else in the world. And I mean, they're great. They're great books. They're huge, huge books. And I just realized that I did not put the third one of that on my list for next year. I'm definitely going to read it. Like, for sure, I'm going to read the third one. Like, absolutely. I'm glad I read them. They're great books. I think I maybe gave Fourth Wing 5 stars. That's probably cheating a little bit because I think there's definitely people, if you don't like fantasy, you won't like it, but it's really good. And then I took a pivot. I took a little bit of a pivot, and these are not quite in order. So then I pivoted and I read Housemaid and Housemaid's Secret. These were just like fun reads. My sister read them and was like, you need to read them. I have not read the third one yet. My sister said it's just kind of more of the same, so I'm not really prioritizing that. Maybe someday I'll go back and reread them. I think they have set that Housemaid is going to be made into a movie, and so maybe I'll reread Housemaid before it gets made into a movie, or after or something, and then I'll reread 2 and then read the third one. But for now, I'm not worrying about it. I wonder if that even has a timeline yet. I don't know. Then the big priority for me this year was to read A Court of Thorns and Roses. And really, all I put in my goals, like all I said last year during Vlogmas was to read the first one. That was just my goal. And then if I could power through the first one, then maybe I would get other ones done. I am now on track to get through the last one. Fingers crossed. I am at like 50 something percent. I did the math last night. I think I have to read 3% a day for the rest of the year to finish. I'm believing in myself. I can do this. I can do this. And so then I will have finished all 5 of those, which is really exciting. And it feels really good. I'm doing no series in 2025. So this year was a lot of series, right? I finished Harry Potter. I read Fourth Wing, Court of Thorns and Roses, Housemaids. And then I pivoted a little bit at some point in that Court of Thorns and Roses to read Sarah Cannon's new book, Disappearance of Vanessa Shaw. That's hard to say. So good. So good. Loved it. Not typically a thriller, even though Housemaid and Housemaid's Secrets are thrillers, but it's very, very good. Highly recommend. So that was my fiction adventure this year. So those are all the books that I read in 2024. Again, I'm at 28 total once I finish the last Court of Thorns and Roses and disappearing at the speed of life, decluttering at the speed of life. That will put me at 30. And some really good books. A lot of things I really loved, and I'm excited for 2025. I'm excited to, guys, I'm really hesitating putting the 2025 books in this vlog. Yeah, you know what? We're just gonna do it. I don't know what tomorrow's vlog is gonna entail, but that's fine. Let me try this tea. Yeah, oh my gosh, that tea is so good. Oh my God. And so much more flavorful than all those advent calendar teas. Wow. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, let's talk about 2025. Okay, my goal in 2025, this is gonna sound really cheesy, are you ready? Is to read 25 books. Oh my gosh, so fun. Okay, so hear me out. This is how it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out to 1 daily reader, which I haven't even opened. I have that box to open during this portion of the video, and 2 other books per month. So if you have been around, you know that I love the Daily Stoic. It is, can I get this open? I just didn't wanna like make that loud. Okay, the Daily Stoic is how I started my morning routine. That book changed my life, I guess. And like some of it, I think some of the actual takeaways changed my life, but reading that book every day and starting my morning routine that way absolutely changed my life. So I tried a reread of it. Was that this year? Yeah, I think so. I think it was this year. It may have been last year. No, I think it was this year. It doesn't matter because it didn't go well. And I think it was a couple reasons. One was just like where it fit into my routine, but also like I was rereading stuff I had already read. And then somebody that I follow on Instagram who, oh my God, she is amazing, by the way. Just like somebody I started following. I just loved her vibe. And she is a single mom, and she posted about this book. And I immediately was like, oh my gosh, is that worth it? Like, especially because you're a mom. And she goes, yes. And that is The Daily Dad, written by Ryan Holiday, which is the Daily Stoic guy. Okay, it's the Daily Dad, but like, who says it can't be for moms? And that's why she was like, no, I highly recommend. It's 366 meditations on parenting, love, and raising great kids. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, you guys. So excited. So this is my daily read for 2025, and that counts as book 1. Then my other goal is to just read 24 other books. I am getting a little specific. I'm gonna dig it a little deeper and tell you about it, but I'm not saying these exact 24 books. So for nonfiction, I went through my list of nonfiction books that are in my Goodreads. and there's a lot of them. And I started to pick out the ones that felt like they resonated with me right now, where I was at in life right now. And I have them all merged together. There are some business books, there's some more personal development, there's some parenting books. It's kind of a combination of all of the above. It's all of nonfiction is lumped together, one at a time. And I made sure it had an audiobook before it got on the list. I think there were a couple that I was like, oh, that sounds good, but there was no audio version. And right now that is a non-negotiable. And I picked 15. I picked 15 from my Goodreads list that felt good. My goal is to get through 24. Ideally, it would be 12 fiction and 12 nonfiction, but I don't know if that's actually how it's going to work out. Who knows? But 15 nonfiction books that I am aiming for. So the first 3 are ones that were on last year's list. So Good Inside, Set Boundaries, Find Peace, and Chasing Simple Marketing. Those were on 2024's list that I'm carrying over. These are the newer ones. And these first 3 I have on hold at the library, so I'm hopefully waiting for them. The Anxious Generation, Effortless, which is the follow-up book to Essentialism, and How to Keep House While Drowning. I've heard lots of good things about that book. And then the rest of the ones on my list, which again, I'll link all of these below. I feel like I can't really comment on them. I think last year when I did this video, I did deep dive into every book that I picked. I'm not doing that. You can always go click if you want to find out more. So Building a Story Brand, that's a business book. Get Good with Money, that's obviously a finance book. Tech Wise Family, parenting. Love Your Kids Without Losing Yourself. Unoffendable. Honestly, I can't remember what that's about, but I like the name of it. Uptime, same thing. I think that's a time management book. Everyday Magic, which is Maddie James' book. I've had that on my list ever since I feel like it came out. Habits of the Household, I think that's a parenting book. Never Enough. Those are the 15 nonfiction books on my list. I have one, the Chasing Simple Marketing, I already have in my possession. So I will start that one first, unless any of these, I have 5 others on hold at the library. Some of these my library didn't have. Unfortunately, I checked. And so I will just use my mom's Audible credits until they run out. And then I'll pay for them, the ones that they don't have at the library. So those are my nonfiction. Then for fiction, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. And I'm not gonna list all of them. So like I mentioned, this year was a very series heavy year. And while I love a series, because I do think series really, it's good at carrying me into the next book. And not getting rid of that decision fatigue of what am I reading next. I have a gazillion, it felt like, books on my Goodreads list that are nonfiction, or that are fiction, standalone books, not series, non-series. And so that's what I'm powering through. It's a no series year. So I went through my Goodreads and I pulled out, I have the numbers here. I had 109 fiction books in my Goodreads. The first thing was I checked to see, did they have them at the library? Because while I am willing to pay for the Audible of some of my nonfiction books on my list, this year, I'm not prioritizing paying for fiction books. So they had to have it at the library. Luckily, that only removed 6 from that list. So 6 of them got eliminated. 39 of those books were the start of a series. It was the first book in a series. That is a lot. So I took all those off. So that left 64 standalone fiction books that my library has. So that is what my list is. Again, I'm not reading you all 64 of these, but I have a list of 64 books. I think that this order is oldest, the oldest ones I added to my list on Goodreads to the newest. So that's the order I'm going to read them in. That's what it's going to be. So I am literally just starting at the beginning and going from there. I went through the first handful and I have a couple of them on hold, and a couple of them, there's no wait, or at least there wasn't when I checked. I'm not downloading them though because you can only have them for so long. So I'm not downloading anything until I finished A Court of Silver Flames. But I'm ready. I'm ready to go, and I'm just going to power. And it's not decisions. It's literally the next one on the list. If the next one's not available, I put it on hold and go to the next one and go to the next one. And I think among these books, I'm going to be able to, I don't know. Again, the goal would be 12-ish, but maybe I'll get through more. Who knows? I have a feeling that they might go a little faster. When I didn't realize until I saw them in person at the bookstore, the Court of Thorns and Roses books, with the exception of the 4th one, are huge. They're huge books. So my guess is the quantity of page numbers that I read in books 1, 2, and 3 is probably at least 2 of these little books. I don't know, maybe. So I have a lot on my list. So that's my plan for 25. My goal is 25 books, 1 daily reader, and 12 fiction, 12 nonfiction, but we'll see. I have 12 or 15 nonfictions listed so that I have options and like depending on what's available at the library, etc. And then I have 64 fiction books listed, and we'll see how many I get through. And it might take me 5 years to get through this list, but I'm gonna pivot, right? I'm gonna take a pivot and go read the new Iron Flame book, and I'm gonna take a pivot. Frankly, I probably should set my reading goal at like 30 because I'll pivot off a couple of times, but that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is just to keep reading and to keep going. And so those are my reading goals for 2025. Those are my thoughts. If you like talking about books and reading, if you are still listening to me talk right now, I am sorry to my editor. This is like a whole video in and of itself. Today's vlog is gonna be long. Well, I don't know how much I vlogged earlier in the day. We'll see. But if you like reading, I don't know that I ever will do standalone reading updates. So I actually would love your thoughts. I have 2 choices for you. One is I do stuff like this, where I sit down and we talk about reading, and it can be in a vlog. Like I can incorporate it into a vlog. Or I can keep doing it on a weekly basis on the live chats. You let me know, what do you like better? And we will do that in 2025. But really, I'm mostly excited about this. Okay, I need to go get some work done before I have to go get Lila, so. Okay, my mom is gonna come over and do a couple glasses of wine. So before I go get Lila, let's open this up. 14 pesto cheese, yum, yum, yum. We already had that one, it's so good. And then 15 is, whoa, why does this look so different than every other cheese we've ever had? What the heck is this? Is it a Parmesan? Oh my goodness. Like it looks like a hard Parmesan. Oh my gosh, I bet that's gonna be so good. I wonder what the wine is. I haven't watched the video my mom sent yet, and I feel like that's always the case. All right, insert the BB cam here.
Okay, opening some new wine. I believe we are on 14. And yes, we are still behind. And 14. Ooh, it's a rosé, even though the bottle doesn't, it looks clear. Interesting. And then we'll do 15. And 15. It looks like it is some type of an Italian red. Cute bottle.
She's fine. Who's that? We never did an outfit of the day for Lila today because it's an outfit you've already seen, so I didn't feel like that was necessary, but she says hi. Bye. No, not saying bye, not yet.
Hi.
Bye, bye. You're silly. Okay, cheers to an actual rosé. This is the first rosé I feel like we've had.
It is.
Day 14. That's good.
It's a very nice rosé.
I mean, it's weird in December. I like a rosé like in the summer, but
yeah, I like them all time of year.
Of course. You, one of Mom's famous quotes is, all wines are drinkable with the right attitude.
Is correct.
Obviously, we are not going to drink all of these before the end of Vlogmas. I hate to break it to you. But in case you don't get the gist, it's amazing.
It's worth it.
Am I going to share this with you?
You have some in your hand, good ball.
Yeah, but I want Mommy's. Oh, so good though, Peanut. I don't want to share with her. But she's so cute. Oh my gosh, so good.
Yeah, all the difference.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Can you say bye-bye now? Well, we haven't been doing the QR codes. Sorry, we forgot about that again. And frankly, I mean, like, I don't think you want to listen to us read you the descriptions anyway. But this is a dark purple. What kind of wine did you say it was?
It's an Italian something. Ooh.
Cheers. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. It smells good. Interesting. It's really dry, but it's not like as... Okay, Lila really wants to play the piano. She's very adamant that the piano is not on. I'm half in because I have to spot the small child at the piano. Yeah, I don't know. It's good. And that's Lila playing the piano in the background. And dancing. Okay, this looks like Parmesan.
It tastes like Parmesan. Very dry.
Oh my god.
It goes very nicely with the wine. Of course it does, because that's
how this works. It does go very nicely. Well, cheers. And to Lila's background music. I'm in my vlog closeout seat. I feel like I've been rubbing my eyes and so my makeup is everywhere. I'm so tired. I feel like every night when I put Lila to bed, I just like hit a wall. Like she goes down and I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm off for the day. And sometimes I feel like, wow, I was planning to make this closeout really fast and go to bed. Well, I'm actually catching up with a friend for a little bit first. Then I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to organize these presents while I talk to her. Anyway, sometimes I feel like it's like silly when I want to, I want to get up super early. I'm like, am I really setting an alarm for that early? And then I'm like, no, as long as I go to bed early enough that I'm getting an adequate amount of sleep, if I get up at that time, I'm going to get so much done in the morning hours. And yes, I'm going to feel like this when Lila goes to bed, but like I got things done. No, I mean, there's always more things to do and there's always things I could get done, right? I had on my plan that I was originally going to wrap tonight. That's not going to happen. Then what morning version of Laken thought she was going to work this evening? That didn't happen either. That's just not how I am. Like, unless it's something I absolutely have to get done, like a video has to go up, like something has to happen. By the time we hit the evening, I am useless. So all that to say, Lila's in bed, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for bed, and then I'm talking with my friend in a little bit, and I'm gonna catch up with her while I organize these presents, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. And I'm so tired. Another long day of stuff, apartment stuff, and whatnot tomorrow. I have like I think I have 3 different people coming to the apartment tomorrow. I have a carpet estimate coming that I may not even end up using because one of the guys I talked with today for other work has a carpet guy. The gas people have to come out to switch it to my account, which makes no sense. Like electric, I just went online and was like, I live there, this is mine now. And then everything was fine. Gas has to come out in person tomorrow. And then duct cleaning. They're coming to clean my air ducts tomorrow. Man, owning home is super fun. The people that lived there before us were smokers. So that's why we're getting the air ducts cleaned tomorrow. Okay, stop rambling. This vlog is long enough. Sorry to my editor, you're the best. If you made it to the end of this video, what did we even do? Oh, I mean, I know we already did the book emoji because of we did it for library time, but there are a lot of different book emojis. So whatever book emoji you picked last time, pick a different one because there's a bunch of book options. And I actually love the comments of that video because it's like all the different books. Hi, kitty. Look who's back. Anyway, pick another book emoji since that's what we talked about today was books. Okay, I'm going to bed. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week focused on helping you achieve your goals and every day here during Vlogmas. See you tomorrow. Let me say that again. Then I read Iron Wing and Fourth Flame. Iron Wing and Fourth Flame. Really, Laken? Is that really what they're called? Because it's not. Bye.